Not coming up here.
Good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome back, or I guess we should be, or you should be welcoming us back.
That's right. That's right. Welcome back.
Oh my god!
They
already knew we were old, man.
Yeah, I'd sing more of that, but I don't know the words. But
don't know the word.
No.
It's like the
Mr. Carter.
Yeah. What was the one on Dave Chappelle? Good Times, where you didn't know the lyrics. You know
Yes.
To the Good Times song.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, welcome back. We're glad to be back.
Yes, we are.
I'm still dealing with some health issues, but
yeah, some pretty big ones too. I'm hoping everything works out this week, like we were talking about.
Oh yeah,
well, like we were talking about before we came on the air here today. So
yeah, well, it's kind of one of those things where you just I preach about this all the time. Is like you take care of yourself, and sometimes even if you do those things, shit still happens, unfortunately. So
right.
I don't know if I've talked about it much on here, but I had AFib a few months back and had to do the shock treatment and all that stuff, and so it's now I got to get an ablation done. So it's all been a big process. It's kind of luckily it's nothing. I don't have to get my chest cracked open and shit, that kind of thing. So that's a good thing, I guess. But
that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, it's still kind of worrisome that I lost 35 pounds in I don't know a year and a half, and then we had been eating pretty well. So I mean because we had always been on the cusp of cholesterol stuff, so we changed a lot of the diets and everything. So
yeah,
and that's what happens when you start eating healthy. You start talking like RFK Jr. too. So,
right, yeah.
Oh man. So I felt like that all the time. Like, hey, what's going on with my voice? Like it's getting crackly and deeper for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's just kind of an ongoing thing. Hopefully, we get some answers soon and get back to some somewhat normal. Anyway, whatever normal ever was, I don't remember what normal is at this point.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
But anyway, welcome back, everybody.
Yep.
We do have a guest coming up on the 4th still, as far as we know. So we're still,
we do.
We're still trying to get some stuff in between there. Maybe I know, like from the album reviews this week, not to give anything away, but we should probably do a couple of reach outs there. So
I'm actually going to do that the second we get off the air today. No, I am. I was listening to my album this morning, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going to try to get these guys on the show. So yeah, that's going to be it's one of my orders of business today. So, cause I mean, we could even get them on the show for next week if they're available.
Oh
so, yeah. So we see what we got going on. Cause the only thing we've got, like you say, is what was it the 4th?
I think it was something like that.
I can't remember. It's
8th, 7th or something. I don't remember. It's the first weekend in November. So
November 1st is Saturday. So
yeah.
So
maybe it was the 1st.
We'll see. But I mean, either way, I mean, we have a guest coming up supposedly, and we'll just try to line up another one, see how it goes.
Let's see if I can do it this way.
Let's see how it goes.
So I was trying to look, so I don't want to. Oh wow, that's back in July. Okay, yeah, I don't see it on here right now, so I have to go back and look at it. So, but anyway, But we do have something lined up coming up.
Yes, yes, we do.
I got this thing back on.
Sometime in November. Sometime
Right,
in November.
right. And and
Yeah,
Chris, Chris,
we
you got your priest shirt on or no?
no. I was gonna wear
I
my
was like,
priest. I was gonna wear my priest shirt, but Angela is she's still asleep, and
oh, gotcha.
I thought I had it hung up in here in the office, and I don't.
Ah, gotcha.
I'm not gonna go in there and
No,
risk waking her up. So
yeah,
I was
I
going.
don't, don't wake the bear, man. uh, but
She deserves it's the weekend, so she deserves the rest. So
anyway, we actually got to see Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. Was it last week or a week before?
it was the 7th. So
Yeah,
yeah,
okay,
it was
couple weeks ago. So
yeah, a couple of
so,
Tuesdays ago. So yeah,
so yeah, pretty good show, man. Like
man, it was a great show.
for those guys to be in their 70s doing what they're doing, it's pretty amazing. So
Yeah, I mean, Alice sounded great.
mm-hmm. The
Alice
thing,
sounded great, and I mean, we actually caught. We didn't really get to see a lot of Corrosion of Conformity set because they had already started like when we had walked in.
yeah,
Because you guys had those tickets that you had to get fixed because they were rain check tickets,
yeah.
and so I thought the show started at 7, like they
Well, I
normally
did
do.
too. Yeah.
Shows usually start at 7 and all that good shit. So,
Well,
and
you know,
then
doors open at 6, so you wouldn't think the show would start at 6:45. I mean,
exactly. So, we were on our way to our seats and all stuff. So we got to hear Corrosion's set and they did a good job.
yeah.
Played, I mean, there was one song I would have liked for them to play that they didn't, but I mean, it is what that happens a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So,
Oh
but
yeah.
I mean, they sounded good. They played, they played the hits. They played, Albatross, Clean My Room,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And then I thought Alice sounded terrific.
Yeah.
Alice
Yeah.
sounded great. I mean, 77 years old, still up there kicking it. His wife made an appearance. Nita Strauss played well. All of the, he did all of his, things where, he chopped his own head off and all that
Yeah.
other stuff and shit like that. And,
Mm-hmm.
killed his wife on stage and all that shit. So
Mm-hmm.
all of the normal stuff that Alice does, he did on
Mm-hmm.
stage. And then, Priest came on and put on a terrific set. And Rob still sounds good. I mean, he's not, don't get me wrong, he's not hitting the high notes that he could hit 30 some odd years ago, but I mean with the range that he had to be able to, I mean, he gets close.
Oh yeah.
I've
Oh yeah.
got no complaints as far as that goes. I got
Yeah.
no complaints at all.
I always wonder why he changed so much, especially into he changed back into the same jacket he wore like 3 songs earlier. I was like, why don't you just play all the songs from that jacket?
He did have
like,
he did have quite a few wardrobe changes, which I thought was funny. He'd go out, he'd come back, different coat. He'd go out, he'd come back, different coat. And like you say, at one point he came back with like the same jacket he
had 3 songs
with.
earlier. Yeah, I was like, what the? When I seen that, I'm like, why didn't he just play all the songs from that record
Yeah.
and then change out one time? I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, it's like, I don't know the answer to that, but I'm sure there was a purpose for it. I mean,
I'm sure there was, but yeah, I had a great time. I appreciate you offering for me to go.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I mean, and I know this was your first time at First Bank, right?
It was, yeah.
Man,
so,
it was mine too. It's a great venue.
Yeah, that's a nice little venue. Yeah.
It is. It's a cool venue. It's also nice not having to go all the way into Nashville. So I mean,
yeah, that
was
is
nice.
a good thing. I wish the seat portion of the place was covered though. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems like, well, I mean, honestly though, if they did that, it would probably take away from the view from the back though. So I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, it probably would take away from the view from the people that's in the back bleacher. But the thing is, it's like everything is seated if you want to be seated. So
there's seats and then there's bleachers. So yeah,
no circle pits in there. So
no, I mean the people who were all the way up at the front in those seats, they got up and they stood up against the barrier. But yeah, there's no designated pit area at that place. So
which I don't know if they do. Like I don't know if they do a lot of bands that would do circle pits and stuff anyway.
I don't know. I don't
Right.
really think so.
Because I think was that Papa Roach and them were there this year, and I think the one coming up is Seether. So it's not like
Yeah, I don't.
they're not like super heavy bands, but they're you know.
Right. I don't think too many.
Of course, I don't think Judas Priest has ever been on band and said, "Hey, Circle Pit," you know.
No, I don't think so. I think you're right.
Yeah. I don't remember. I don't.
And it was the funny thing because at the end of the show, right before Rob walked on stage, and you mentioned it after the show when we were walking out, he said we are Judas fucking Priest, and you were like, did he say fucking? It's like, yeah, he
I
did.
know, right? Yeah, like, I was like, you're talking about a band that never cusses in their music, and you're like, wow, he said fucking.
Yeah,
Like,
but yeah,
it's like maybe he's getting a little bit loose at his old age or something. I don't know.
yeah, maybe.
But anyway,
Well, I mean, he's kind of earned it, so I mean.
you know.
And I mean,
So
if you're at a heavy metal show and you get offended by the F word, I mean, you're in
well, you're probably at the wrong spot.
yeah,
Anyways.
you're in the wrong place. So I mean, you should probably yeah, you're definitely worried about the wrong thing if you're at a metal show and you get upset at somebody saying fuck. So
Yeah, definitely. So let's see. I don't think I've seen anything for that. I'm just double checking myself real quick here.
oh, you're good. You're good. Got a little. Yeah, I mean, we got an extra week of catch up to do, so we got to make sure we're not behind on anything. So.
Yeah, I know we started talking about the Louder and Life show too before. What's his? Golly, I just went blank. He's gonna kill me. Uh, Paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure. I was trying to remember his name, and I was like, I went blank. But anyway,
How about John?
John, yeah, John, yeah.
Yeah.
When John was on, like
Mm-hmm.
we started talking about it a little bit because he was a little late. He had something to take care of before he jumped on, which is fine. We didn't.
Oh,
Didn't
totally
mind,
fine.
so,
Yeah.
And that will be up probably sometime this week. I'm actually in a spot to where I'm about to go and edit a bunch of stuff and just throw it all on there. So
Nice.
I'll try to get all that done before the next interview. I always try to be caught up before the next interview. So
Right.
because that's always a fun scenario when you don't when you're already behind. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were talking a little bit about Louder and Life because that was your first time at Louder and Life too. You got a lot of firsts this year, man. It's like
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I have.
so which is
I mean, it's good, but it's weird at the same time. It's still kind of strange that I'm still getting to experience certain bands and certain festivals for the first time. But hey, it's never too late. So
no, that's right. That's right. So, all right, I guess we will kick off as normal with some birthday shout outs. This is going to be from the week of October 12th to today. Kick that off here. The October 12th, we had Jeff Keith, the vocalist for Tesla. October 13th, we had Sammy Hagar, of course, vocalist for his solo band, and then Van Halen from 1985 to 1996. And then Joey Belladonna, vocalist for Anthrax. And so the place I get this stuff from kind of makes me mad sometimes because like it'll show Joey Belladonna's Anthrax on his first run. It don't even say he's still the. It don't even say he's still the vocalist. It just says, "Oh yeah, he was vocalist from here to here." I'm like, no, he's still the vocalist.
yeah, he's the right now. Yeah,
yeah, right. I'm just like, are y'all not like, I don't know if it's like one of those sites where you have to like, tell them these things or something. I don't know. So if nobody ever tells them, they don't change it. I don't know. But
how do you not know?
yeah, I don't know, man. It's like anyway, I'm sitting there going, wait, what? Why they only got it like that for? I said, whatever.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not going to go into that. He's the vocalist for Anthrax. For whatever he was before than now. So
yeah.
I feel like if we was going to do anything like that, it should be John Bush, Anthrax from
this to this. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever, yeah, it's 04 or whatever it was. I don't remember, but. I know it was for a good length of time because I think they did 4 albums right with him.
I believe so.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. October 14th, we had Colin Hodgkinson, bassist for Whitesnake, and let's see, Dan McCafferty, vocalist for Nazareth. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2022. Al Atkins, vocalist for Judas Priest from 1969 to 1973. Then AJ Pero, drummer for Twisted Sister, and unfortunately, he died in 2015. October 15th, we have Freight and Domino, vocalist for Angel. We have Jerky 69, vocalist for the 69 Eyes. And I'm not going to try to pronounce his real name. So, uh, Dax Riggs, vocalist for Acid Bath. October 16th, we had Tony Carey, keyboardist, singer, songwriter for Rainbow. Chad Gray, vocalist for Hell Yeah and Mudvayne. October 17th, we had Alan West, no, not Batman, guitarist for Obituary and South Wicked. Uh, Burton is all it says. Keyboardist for him. Michael McKean, vocalist and guitarist for Spinal Tap. Dan Lilker, bassist for Nuclear Assault, Brutal Truth, Anthrax. I mean, you name it, that guy's probably been in something or another that you've heard of. So,
Yeah.
SOD, I think he was in that. So, yeah, a lot of stuff that guy was in. He actually wrote a book called the Metal Veteran. So, which is pretty wild. So, Chris Motionless, vocalist for Motionless in White. Johann Soderberg, guitarist for Amon Amarth, and then Matt Center, bassist and vocalist for Primal Fear. And I did not find anybody out there because I haven't went through socials this morning. So if there was anybody for today, then I haven't seen it yet. So,
Did you I may have not heard. Did you mention Sammy Hagar? His birthday was this week too. So. Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's on the 13th. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So that was for the birthdays. Happy birthday to those people.
All right.
And like always, if anybody out there had a birthday, happy birthday to you as well.
Cool.
So
that's right.
Yeah. And then I guess, we'll get into our metal news of the week. Some sad notes, of course.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I'm wearing a shirt today. But
right.
So,
yeah. I mean, let's just get down to it. And this is probably one of those things where not on the exact same level as Ozzy, but this is another one of those things where it's like if you haven't been paying attention, then I don't know what you've been doing the last few days. But I mean, and there was nowhere that didn't have this. So I mean, pick an outlet, they had it. So, but I'm gonna grab it from Blabbermouth. This was from October 16th, a couple days ago. Original Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley has died at the age of 74. The news of his passing comes just hours after TMZ.com reported that the musician was hospitalized on life support after he suffered a brain bleed when he took a fall in his studio a couple weeks ago. Frehley's family issued the following statement to Variety, quote, "We are completely devastated and heartbroken. In his last moments, we were fortunate enough to have been able to surround him with loving, caring, peaceful words, thoughts, prayers, and intentions as he left this earth. We cherish all of his finest memories, his laughter, and celebrate his strengths and kindness that he bestowed upon others. The magnitude of his passing is of epic proportions and beyond comprehension. Reflecting on all of his incredible life achievements, Ace's memory will continue to live on forever," end quote. Earlier this month, Frehley scrapped the remainder of his previous announced 2025 tour dates due to unspecified medical issues, quote unquote. The legendary rocker announced a cancellation 2 weeks after he pulled out of the Antelope Valley Fair in Lancaster, California, after sustaining minor injuries in a fall at his home. When Ace's Antelope Valley Fair cancellation was first announced, it was revealed that Frehley had, quote, "a minor fall in his studio resulting in a trip to the hospital," end quote. He was later advised by his doctor to refrain from travel in order to fully recover from his injuries. Frehley appeared on Kiss's first 9 albums and returned for the band's 1998 reunion album Psycho Circus, only to leave again. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the rest of Kiss's original lineup in 2014. Frehley first left Kiss in 1982. He rejoined in 1996 and parted ways with the band once again in 2002 after the conclusion of Kiss's first farewell tour. Since his departure, guitarist Tommy Thayer had assumed the role of the Spaceman. At the time of his passing, Frehley was working on Origins Volume 3, the sequel to Ace's 2016 and 2020 collections of cover songs that inspired the former Kiss guitarist. Ace's latest solo album, 10,000 Volts, came out in February 2024 via Monarch Music Group, formerly E1 Music. It was the follow-up to Spaceman, which was released in October 2018 via E1. Kiss bassist vocalist Gene Simmons co-wrote 2 tracks on Spaceman, Without You I'm Nothing and Your Wish Is My Command, the latter which also featured Gene's bass playing. So, I mean, that story, I mean, only really just kind of touches on like the amount of stuff that Ace did, and
Mhm.
the impact that he had with Kiss, and what Kiss had on on rock and or on hard rock and heavy metal in general. So I mean, like I say, this isn't quite on the level of what Ozzy Osbourne meant to music, but I mean, it's probably Ozzy's up here and Kiss is like right down here. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's still, the loss can't be understated. So definitely, definitely a huge loss.
Yeah, and I'm glad I got to see Ace open up for Alice Cooper a few years back too. So it was, and that's kind of I guess should say it's kind of a memory for us because it was the last thing we got to take my wife's dad to too. So it was uh, pretty.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
pretty memorable concert in a lot of ways now. So. But yeah, I'm glad I got to see. That's one of the things that I've been trying to like do because you know obviously the Judas Priest and Alice Cooper thing was kind of a last minute ordeal the first time, and then it got canceled. So we got to go
right,
with the rescheduling. But you know, somebody offered the ticket that I know people that live on that road, and they were just like, hey, you want to go to the pre-show? I got friends that can't go, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. Love to go. So if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have got to see that show because
right,
I wasn't prepared to because I mean we had just got back from Louder Than Life, from the original date. It was
right.
like I think it was like 4 days later. I think it was 4 days after Louder Than Life.
Yeah, it was.
So it was
It
kind of
was.
like I was kind of like yeah, that's a little rough. I don't know if I can afford that,
Yeah,
but I would have, I was like, man, those are the concerts that I need to be going to because those are the bands that may not be around,
yeah.
much longer. I mean,
And
we want them to be around forever, but unfortunately, that's not the way of life. So,
yeah, and the funny thing is, talking about that show is like when it was first scheduled up there, when it got rained out that first time, I was working nights, so I mean
mhm.
I wasn't able to go.
Right.
The only reason why I was able to go with you and Susie this time is because because I got laid off, and I'd actually been off the last few weeks. So if it wasn't for that, I still wouldn't have been able to go. So it
Hmm.
just kind of
It
worked
just worked
out
out.
the
Yeah, it just
way
worked
everything
out. So,
happened. So, and as luck would have it, I did find another job that I start Monday. So I'll be back to work, and you know, this job is a day job. So I mean, if anything comes up, and as long as finances permit, I mean, I should be able to, get back
yeah,
to going to maybe a concert or two here and there. But I mean, so yeah, I mean, the way things kind of worked out with going to the Priest and Alice Cooper, because I actually hadn't seen Alice Cooper.
oh, okay.
Now,
So yeah, that works.
now I have, and I hadn't seen Priest since '04. So I mean,
Yeah.
it had
And
been
see,
20 years. So
I had never seen Priest at all, so that was like
yeah,
my first time seeing Priest, which is crazy. That like the two things when I sit back and I like okay, what when I was first time I made a bucket list, I'm like okay, what bands have I not seen I want to see, and I
hmm
got to thinking, and I'm just like, damn, have I really not seen Judas Priest? Like
right,
I'm like just like I guess everything just went by like and just never thought about it. I don't
hmm
know, or things didn't work out where I could go, or whatever the case may be.
yeah,
But as we know, when we talk about it on the show, I wrestled for a long time, so I was on the road those weekend nights a lot of times because, that's what I did on the weekends most of the time. So,
right,
or most of the time, actually, a majority of the time was Thursday through Sunday. Uh, so it was always that was like my priority then. So concerts kind of took a back burner for a long time, which I kind of regret now, but it's kind of it should have found a way to kind of split the difference there and still got to go to a few shows, which I did go to some stuff, but it was kind of hit or miss. It wasn't like what I was doing now, going 4 to 5 shows a year. It was more
right,
one show every 4 or 5 years.
yeah.
So
Well,
it's kind of like it's kind of
that's
like I'm trying to get it all in now because like I
yeah,
said, you got to, once you sit back and, I talked about this on the show. Once I sit back and think about the Pantera situation, I'm like, I don't want to be in that situation if I can help it. You know what I mean? So
right,
I want to be able to say, hey, seen them live. So,
hmm yeah,
even if it was just once, I mean, that's fine. But,
yeah,
at least you got to see, the band you grew up on and all that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
oh
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
it's a big deal.
we're only human. We're not made of corn syrup like Stretch Armstrong, where you can pull us in all sorts of different directions. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
there is only so much time in the day, so I mean, you
Yeah.
got, work and family, and you got to get in where you fit in with certain things, and sometimes certain things don't. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, some stuff falls by the wayside. But you know when you have like an opportunity to do that, go see a band, go to a concert, go to whatever, just do things. I mean,
Yeah.
if you get a chance, you kind of gotta try to grab onto those opportunities. Like I say, with some of these bands are not going to be around too much longer. I
Yep.
mean, as this year has proven, Ozzy and Ace Frehley and Brent
Mhm.
Hines, and so I mean, these guys, and of course all of us could, here today, we could be gone tomorrow. I mean, you never know, man.
Which is crazy because I went to see Mastodon because of Lamb of God and Malevolence. I didn't even go to really see Mastodon,
Right.
but I got to see them, and now
Yep.
that's Brent was part of the show when I was there. So
Yep.
so it's kind of like you said, it's kind of one of those things where now you can be like, oh wow, that's crazy, but that he's gone. I seen that not long ago, but
Mm-hmm.
you know you know that's it's just like you said, you never know. You might as well take advantage of it while you can. So.
Yep.
All right, my first one is over from Metal Hammer. Typo Negative guitarist Kenny Hickey has confirmed the surviving band members have been approached about a possible Peter Steele tribute. Speaking to Loaded Radio, Hickey is asked by host Scott Penfold if any conversations had taken place. Oh, that's never mind. For some reason, that name clicked for a minute, and I was like, "Oh no, Matt Penfield." That's what I was thinking about. A little bit different.
Yeah.
Quote, there has, yes, Hickey says, a lot of people approaching us, there's money in it. There's more, the more the value goes up, the more they're going to hound us, end quote. Typo Negative's last show was on October 31st, 2009 at Harpo's in Detroit, Michigan. You ever been there?
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
well, there
No,
you
I haven't.
The group officially disbanded in 2010 after the death of Peter Steele on April 14th of that year. But although they split, guitarist Hickey and drummer Johnny Kelly later came back together to play in the band Silvertune, and more recently Sun Don't Shine, which also brought in Crowbar vocalist Kurt Winstein. Or Winstein, I don't know how you pronounce this. That's one word I wish they would just figure out how to pronounce the goddamn things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it Steen or Stein?
Steen and Stein. Yeah.
Like goddamn Gene Wilder and Young Frankenstein started that shit.
He did.
uh, but although Hickey and Kelly have remained active, keyboardist Josh Silver retired from music after Typo Negative split, becoming a paramedic in his native New York. Quote, Josh is really, at this point, he's very resistant, Hickey concedes. End quote. When Penfold suggests that it wouldn't feel right to proceed without Josh, Hickey is quick to not rule out things entirely, however. Quote, that's correct, but we'll see, he says. We don't know what's going to happen. Josh is about to retire soon. We don't know what's going to happen. It all depends on how much money it's worth and how much is waived, end quote. Speaking to the Talk to Me podcast earlier this year, Hickey has expressed an interest in getting guest vocalists to provide the tribute. So there we go, man. So you never know. We might see a Typo Negative tribute
Yeah.
tour or something, which
And that would make probably a buttload of money too.
Oh, it would, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where they're at. They're just like if everybody can get on board and say, hey, the money's good and let's do it. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which hell, man, if you can get some gig with the money being good nowadays, from what we hear, you're probably just better off just doing it. So,
Right. Yeah.
you hear all these people talk about how the money sucks everywhere. So.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, there are certain bands that just won't come here because of it. So.
Yeah, yeah. Then we've seen stories about that where he was I think it was garbage, wasn't it? Wasn't it Shirley
Mm-hmm.
Manson talking about how it was
Yeah.
not you know not affordable to tour in the United States
Yeah. It
anymore.
was. It was. It was just this week she said that.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah. It was. It was just this week that came out.
But,
Yeah. All right. On to my next one. I'm going to the PRP for this one, and I mentioned this. I mentioned this in this past week's Metalhead Minute, and I I was hesitant to give it. I was hesitant to give this any more press, but I mean, I guess it is still kind of a big deal. Um, so I'm gonna I'll read the story. So, over at the PRP.com, the two suspects arrested over the weekend in relation to the death of ex Lost Prophets vocalist Ian Watkins have now been publicly identified and formally charged. The 48-year-old Watkins was killed in prison this past Saturday, October 11th, reportedly having been slashed. That's kind of weird. Slashed in the neck by fellow inmates. That's kind of very strange how they worded that. He was pronounced dead on the scene. The disgraced vocalist had been serving out his prison sentence of 29 years with an extended license of 6 years at HMP Wakefield in West Yorkshire, England, a sentence he received back in 2013 after being found guilty of numerous child-related sexual offenses. A statement issued on October 13th on the matter by the West Yorkshire Police as follows, quote, Detectives have charged two men with murder after the death of a prisoner at HMP Wakefield on Saturday. Ian Watkins, age 48, was pronounced dead after being seriously assaulted at HMP Wakefield on Saturday morning, October 11th. Rashid Goodell, age 25, who self-identifies as any other black background, and Samuel Dodsworth, age 14. I don't know what that means, but I mean, that's just,
Okay.
reading it. I'm just reading it how it's quoted. And Samuel Dodsworth, age 43, who self-defines as white British, both of HMP Wakefield, have both been charged with murder. They are due to appear at Leeds Magistrates Court this morning. End quote. Lost Prophets had notable attained gold status in the U.S. and taken home a litany of platinum, gold, and silver certifications in the U.K. prior to Watkins' actions. His fame endured to the point that an additional silver single certification was awarded to the band back in 2016, several years since his incarceration. His high profile was also said to have made him a target among fellow inmates. In 2023, Watkins was stabbed and beaten in a dispute with at least one other inmate that was reportedly drug-related. So, that's one of those things. And, obviously what he did was reprehensible, abhorrent, loathing. I mean, whatever adjective you want to use to describe it is probably actually not accurate enough. But I mean, there's one of those things. I mean, you hear about it all the time when someone goes to jail for something like that, and the other inmates find out about it.
Oh
People,
yeah.
they usually don't last very long because it's one of those honor amongst thieves kind of thing. It's one of those things. I mean, even the most heartless and cold-blooded, criminals. I mean, when it comes to children, I mean, these people don't, those guys don't play. So, someone does something. I mean, hell, it's what happened to Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, it probably took a little longer than a lot of people expected it to, but I
Yeah.
mean, and probably because of, like I say, the high profile that Dahmer had. But I mean, you mess around with kids and criminals, even criminals don't play that shit, man.
Yeah.
And
Plus, the opportunity has to present itself to the other prisoners to take them out. So I mean,
yeah,
you know,
there
they had to
was,
wind up catching him, cleaning somewhere by himself, which he probably had to build up to even get that privilege to do any of that stuff. So
more than likely. Yeah.
so it was it was just a waiting game, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
and hell, the guy on death row ain't got nothing but time. So,
Right.
so
Well, I mean, hell, there was and this has been years ago, and like you hear about it happening all the time, but I mean, there was something that happened like years ago up in Detroit. Same thing. There was this guy. He was a lifer. I mean, he wasn't getting out. This guy was not getting out, and his cellmate, one of his, it was like, I guess it was a new cellmate. He was talking about some of the stuff he had done, and like the guy in court was like, I told him to stop talking. I told him he was just running his mouth, and I told him to stop talking. And then one day I said I had enough, and he's like, I took him out. And the judge was like, so you killed him? He's like, oh yeah, absolutely. He's like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. He's like, I'm not here trying to deny anything. He's like, oh yeah. He was talking about what he did to and it was these young victims. He's like, oh, he was telling
right.
me one day about what he did. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I told him to shut up and he wouldn't shut up. So oh yeah, I absolutely killed him.
Yeah.
So
So it's almost at that point, it was like he was bragging about doing it. It was like, that's definitely not something you want to do in jail. So,
no. So I mean, but yeah. So
it's one thing to do things like that and be remorseful. It's a difference to do things and then brag about it and be like it's some
sure.
conquest you did or something.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
But
So
But here's the thing. I'm glad you kind of brought that story up because my wife was kind of when she seen it, she's like I almost want to say something because I don't think that's appropriate for you guys to post that on the show. And I said, well, here's where we differ from media. Okay, we don't make the news; we just report it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of we're not going to pick and choose what we talk to you guys about. It's
Yeah.
part of what happened in the metal community. Do we agree with it? No,
No,
but
absolutely not.
we report on a lot of stuff that we don't agree with or like or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. But it's part of the news for the week, and that's what we just share it. So
Yeah.
uh,
And like I
it's
and
not
like I and like I say, I was initially hesitant to even bring it up because
yeah.
it's one of those things where I mean, you don't necessarily want to give this person any more
Well,
press.
yeah,
But
but
I
I mean,
mean,
still, he was in a metal band, and this happened. So I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of you know, and it could go through anything or anyone as far as
yeah,
that goes. Could be the same scenario somewhere else, but it's news and it's news, and then unfortunately, it goes back to like we grew up is you reported the news whether you liked what was going on or not. It's in the news.
yeah,
Unfortunately, there's sick people in this world, and we
yeah,
have to we report on it. So
yeah,
but and then my wife was just like, yeah, you got a point. I didn't think about it like that, And I said, well, you have to because, you know, it's all like it goes back to we're reporting on metal news right now, and he was part of the metal community at one point,
mm-hmm,
and this is news. He lost his life.
mm-hmm,
Whether it be a warranted or not, it's kind of up to you. But
yeah,
we would probably say that it probably should have been done a long time ago. But I think people like that should be. I don't know, man. I think we talked about this before, but not to get political, but I think a lot of things that go on in our country is because the penalties aren't enough. You know what I mean? So
I
I
think
think
so.
if you took somebody out and just whatever the death penalty is at that point for some stuff like that, and just go ahead and then like do it within the week, because they're guilty, and if they admitted to it or whatever, it's like they're guilty, just take them out. I mean,
Mm-hmm,
why waste taxpayers' money feeding them and clothing them and all
yeah,
this other bullshit? What they did. Just do it because then
yeah,
a lot of people's probably going, oh shit, they ain't fucking around, man. I'm going to back up,
yeah,
And I think that's a lot of what's like I said, that's
yeah,
just my
like
personal opinion. I mean,
yeah, like
people think different things,
sure, and
because
that's
they're like,
fine. Like
you know,
like
a lot, a
instance
lot, a lot of religious people be like, well, thou shalt not kill means thou shalt not kill. But I'm like, yeah, I get that, but I mean, there's also a thing in
eye
there. I
for an
think
eye.
there's always the main thing is there is like you have to obey by laws, and that includes law of man. So there's a lot of
I mean, there's also, I mean, hell,
you can find the thing about the Bible is you can find something that contradicts whatever you think is right.
yeah,
So which
yeah.
is
Well, I mean, there's also eye for an eye in there too. So
there is eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, that kind of thing. So I mean,
like instances of what happened to that with that Ukrainian woman on the train. I mean,
yeah,
there's video of him doing
yeah,
there's
we're
no
not, yeah.
there. I mean, there.
He should get the death penalty. I
Yeah,
don't.
no, there absolutely should. I mean, he absolutely should. I mean, I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't give a shit what his mental state was at the time. I don't care. I don't care. That woman was going home from work, she absolutely had no interaction with that man at all. That dude woke up, stood up, and stabbed her in the neck and
Right.
walked away.
Yeah.
It's cut and dry. It's
Yeah.
cut and dry.
And said I
In
got that, and
instances,
I got that white girl.
yeah,
Like
instances like that, you got to go, man. You have
yeah,
got to go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, but
I mean, it pisses me off. It really does. But
yeah.
like I say,
Well,
not to get off
and
on them.
the thing, yeah, and the thing is, you can't like do that in every case because if you look at the Charlie Kirk case, it's still an ongoing investigation. Because I mean, it's you can't just kill that kid because I mean, we honestly still don't know if he was working alone or not. So,
Right.
it's kind of one of those things where you gotta take
But
what
I
the
mean,
information, take whatever information's out there and use it. So,
I think at the end of that situation though, it's going to be one of those things where it's like, yeah, see you, dude. Bye.
well, yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
I mean,
I think so.
like it all goes back to where like we said, that the punishment to the crimes aren't severe enough here in this country. So, uh,
I don't think so.
You
and
always hear about over in other countries where they did this and chopped their hands off, or it's like damn, people wouldn't steal if you get your hands chopped off,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to when you don't
or
have
yeah,
hands. I mean,
that's
it's
right,
just
yeah.
So I mean, you could argue on. I mean, I guess you could argue about maybe some other countries going maybe too far in the other directions. I mean, I'm
Well,
sure
yeah.
I'm sure that happens too. But I mean,
Well,
but
there's a
over
lot of
here, I mean, there was actually something past couple of days there, and it was in New York. There was a guy who was arrested for slashing somebody in the face on the subway. I don't know if it was on the train or in the station. It may have been in the station, but this guy slashed a dude in the face, was arrested, and this another one of these career criminals who's got a rap sheet a mile long, and he slashed somebody in the face, was arrested, and was let go, and then like within the week did the same thing to somebody else.
oh my god, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like
Mm-hmm.
they gotta keep these people in custody longer than long enough to.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, just did, and it was in New York City.
and then there's a guy that's on death row, and I don't remember where they were at or whatever, but he was on death row and has said he was innocent this whole time. And then there's been proof out there that he may have not have done this, and they're still wanting to execute him. I'm just like, well, wait a minute. If there's a doubt,
Mm-hmm.
then you probably shouldn't be doing it,
Yeah.
because then you're looking at. I mean, the thing is, people don't realize you're looking at lawsuits and stuff like that. If something comes up and he was not guilty and they executed him, oh man, they're finna to fork over a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
and guess who has to pay for that?
Chris, yep. There's something wrong with the back door.
Oh man, something wrong with the back door.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to. Something's wrong with the door handle on the back door. Maybe
Ah,
one of the screws may have come loose or something.
ah,
But yeah. So I mean, it's crazy. Yeah,
no.
it is. It's crazy.
All right, my next one over from Metal Hammer. We could carry on here, so before we get too far off.
Right.
so, uh, so, a tattoo designer from Sheffield, England, says Sleep Token's record label and management firm have had her Instagram account shut down over alleged copyright infringement. Tattoo artist Emily Jane, known as Inkit, I don't know how you say that. Inkitej, I don't know. Anyway, designs tattoos for Sleep Token fans based on their own ideas for the ink that they want. Her Instagram account had grown based on her work, and this week it was shut down after Rico Management and RCA Records stepped in. Um, Emily Jane says that in a post on a newly launched Instagram account, quote, my account that I've worked so hard to build a clientele and platform on has been wrongfully taken down by Sleep Token's team, RCA, or Rico Management Entertainment for creating Sleep Token inspired tattoos and flash sheets. I worry that this abuse of power it will become worse and more widespread, attacking smaller businesses and creativity. I know a lot of cosplaying and fan accounts that have been taken down previously or threatening fans with cease and desist. Again, this is abuse of power to not only small businesses with fair use laws, but awful for fans in general. My designs are heavily inspired by the band or a tribute to them and the fans, all of which are my own designs that I've worked hours and hours on to design and get out into the world. End quote. She adds that she will be more mindful about which designs she posts on her page, but insists she won't stop the work she had been doing. Other examples of RICO or RCA taking action against Sleep Token fans for alleged copyright infringement have surfaced on Reddit and other internet sites, with one fan even launching a petition calling for RICO to ease up. So damn Rico, I'm just kidding. but yeah, that's I don't know. To me, that seems a little messed up. And if it's her design, then I don't see what the big problem is. Like, oh, you muted, Chris.
Yeah, that definitely sounds. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're
Um,
good.
But yeah, that definitely sounds picky, and it also sounds like it has nothing to do with the band. So I
It
mean,
doesn't. Yeah, I mean it's
but,
more their management, but still, it's kind of it's kind of one of those things where management knows they got a money train going right now, and they don't want anybody to be you know picking off of it. But
well, no, and I mean I understand that, but I mean take like 5 minutes to do a little bit of research before you do something
yeah,
to somebody
you
like
know,
that. I mean, and they have since rescinded though, right?
I haven't seen an update on it, but I
Okay,
mean
well,
they could have. I haven't seen it, but
well,
I'll look and see if there's an update on that. But
okay. So I mean, because I mean, like I say, they do a little bit of homework. They'll see that okay, there's no like direct.
well, it's her designs. Just like I do. I make T-shirts, so
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times I buy the pattern design because I'm buying a pattern design I can use over and over and over. So yes, if I pay $10 for it or whatever, I'm using it for 30, 40 shirts. So it's different, you know, than me just taking something off the internet that's licensed and then turning around and using it. That's not what even if I take something off the internet, I add something of my own to it to make it
Mm-hmm.
mine, so it's not, oh, well, you use my image. I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, your image doesn't have this or doesn't have that. So,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
you know, it's like anything else. You change, it's like music, you change one lick of a guitar and it's a different song. So, I mean,
Yeah, but at the same time, you would when it comes to music, you end up you could end up being in trouble like Vanilla Ice because I mean
well, yeah.
he added one note to that bass line. He was like, oh, see, it's not the same, and he lost. So
Yeah.
it's a
Luckily,
fine line. It's a fine line.
we've talked about Avenged Sevenfold's. Which album was that? Hail to the King? Was it Hail to the King or? I don't know. It wasn't Hail to the King. Which one was it? That sounded a lot like Metallica.
Yeah, Hell of the King.
It was Hail to the King. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I couldn't remember.
it was the song "This Means War." It sounded they were like,
Yeah, it
oh,
sounded like
this is sad,
sad
but
but true.
it's
Yeah,
sad but true. And of
yeah,
course, that's the thing is Avenged Sevenfold was like, yeah, it sounds a lot like Sad but True, but that was on purpose. We're doing an
yeah.
homage to a band that influenced us. So I mean,
Right, right. And I'm sure Metallica was just like, yeah, whatever.
yeah. But I
If
mean,
you
it
make
wasn't. I mean,
if you
but
make
that's
as
what.
much if you make as much off of that as we did, sad but true, good for you. So,
But that's the thing is it. But that's the thing is it just sounded like Sad but True. It
yeah, it
wasn't.
wasn't
Yeah,
the
I mean,
same. Yeah,
I mean, the drum beat wasn't exactly the same. The guitar riff wasn't exactly the same. It just sounded like Sad but True. It was completely different. Hell, it was more. Hell, Avenged Sevenfold got more shit from people claiming that they stole Overkill's Death Bat.
right.
There was Avenged Sevenfold got more shit from that, but I mean, even Overkill was like, yeah, I mean, it looks a lot alike, but I mean, they told us that they had a design, and so I mean, it was one of those things where Avenged Sevenfold supposedly stole the Death Bat, but I mean,
Right.
they got Overkill's blessing, so I mean, just
Yeah, I mean,
is
it's
what it is.
it's I don't know. It's like I said, that's a little bit different than what we're talking about here, though, because I mean, like I said, that's an original
Hmm.
artist doing the original things where she
Yeah.
drew out these things or whatever.
Hmm.
I guess like if there's some kind of thing to where you can't use any likeness of the band or something, then maybe there's something to it.
Sure.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. I still think it's a little
It's a little
bit,
picky. It's a little
yeah,
picky.
yeah, for sure. So
All right, staying at the PRP.com for this next one. And this one was like one of those, wow, that this escalated quickly kind of things. Denial of Life found themselves briefly detained by police while on tour in Austria last week, per the below local media report shared online by ORF on the Tacoma Washington-based crossover outfit were pulled over by local authorities near the German border for not observing proper road safety rules. An officer interviewed in the segment relayed that the band's camper van housed several individuals laying down rather than being seated upright and buckled in. Furthermore, authorities stated that upon being pulled over, the driver of the vehicle was found to be under the influence. While police state the driver initially refused to take a drug test, he is said to have later acquiesced, upon which the police determined he was impaired from lack of sleep and use of an unspecified drug. Per the report, despite being told by authorities he was unfit to continue driving, police allege the individual then proceeded to get back in the vehicle and continue driving, pleading to the police to pursue the band. Upon being stopped again, police reported that another individual from the band's party was behind the wheel by that time and was not impaired. The group were thus fined 2,000. I don't know what the currency is, and we're able euros. I don't think it's euros, and we're able to make it to their gig in Nuremberg in time for the show. The band were out as openers for Darkest Hour, Bleeding Through, Shai Hulud, and more on a European UK tour. Darkest Hour took to Instagram to touch on the situation briefly over the weekend, suggesting fans donate to Denial of Life to help them with the associated fee. Yesterday, October 12th, of course, this, like I say, this has been a few days, of course. Yesterday, October 12th, the band themselves shared this edited version of the report, omitting several details on their Instagram, stating, quote, allegedly made some waves in Austria, but we arrived in Munich for the last show of our European tour at Backstage. See you tonight, end quote. The full report can be seen below. Denial of Life's new EP, Witness the Power, will be out November 7th on Creator Destructor Records. And that news report is embedded in the story if you guys want to watch that. Uh, so yeah, it is kind of interesting. It sounds like they had needless to say, a little bit of an exciting trip. But make sure your driver's not high. So
yeah, yeah, that's probably a good,
yeah,
good thing to do. Yeah.
and knows how to drive in a foreign country.
Well, yeah, that's the main. That's kind of what I'm nervous about going to Ireland next year. Is kind of like, cause we, where we're going, we're going to be renting a car and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, man, it's going to be weird driving on the wrong side of the road and all that stuff. Which we say wrong side of the road, but hell, who knows? It may be the right side of the road. We're on the wrong side of the road. Who knows? But
yeah.
it's like,
well, I mean, just don't pull a Clark W. Griswold when you're over there. So
yeah, I'll just keep going in a circle around nothing.
That's right.
All right, this my last story is over from Metal Sucks. I hope every country does this because justice and recognition for all metal. Less for Drace. I don't know if that even sounded that right, but that's what it looks like to me. It's a new award ceremony specifically dedicated to French metal was held on Thursday, October 9th at the Bataclan in Paris. Gojira, Landmarks, and Alcest were among the winners of the night. Les Fordres roughly translates to lightning and to feel someone's wrath. So that feels quite appropriate for the metal scene for sure. A total of 12 awards were given in some pretty typical categories like Album of the Year and Artist of the Year. Gojira took home some pretty big ones, including the Fordre for Live Performance of the Year for their performance at the Carcassonne Festival over the summer. I don't even know if I pronounced that right either, but whatever. I'm not the French wee. As well at the ultimate Faudre de Hane. I don't know, close enough. Which I think is pretty similar to how American award shows honor specific artists for their achievements. Landmarks won Artist of the Year and Album of the Year for The Darkest Place I've Ever Been. Revnor, who also performed at the ceremony, found themselves with the award for Revelation of the Year, whatever that is. And here are all the winners. Revelation of the Year was, like we just mentioned, Revnor. Album of the Year for Landmarks, The Darkest Place I've Ever Been. Artist of the Year, Landmarks. Event of the Year, Hellfest. Audio Visual Creation of the Year, Hotu and Vithia clip for Neo Paris by Rise of the North Star. Live Performance of the Year, Gojira at the Carcassonne Festival in 2025. Editorial Project of the Year, Children of the Sabbath, book by Matthieu Yasef, Guillaume Flory, and Gabriel Redon. Artwork of the Year, Johan Losel for Les Chance de l'Aurore by Alcest, album artwork. That's for the album artwork. Social and Environmental Commitment of the Year, More Women on Stage campaign. I don't know what that's all about, but okay. But then La Faudre des Métiers de l'Ambre, Frederic Chalsny, and Lorraine Weinick from Garmonbozia. Then Pascal Larre, stage manager. Corentin Charbonnet, photographer, editor, and metal anthropologist. Best-selling rock album, Ultra Vomits La Puissance du Pauvre. And then the La Faudre d'Honneur goes to Gojira. So, and hopefully it's next time it goes to a country that starts doing this that I can pronounce. So, uh,
Yeah,
uh,
French is a tough language.
yeah, French is a total like a lot of the like Indian stuff, and some of the we've been messing around with the Swedish and Nordic people enough. I think so far that it's kind of we've kind of picked up on a lot of that, but yeah, the stuff that we're not used to, French and stuff like that, is kind of
Yeah, it's a tough language.
you know, so
But I mean, still, congratulations to Gojira. That's awesome.
yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so
And
so you Americans always think somebody want to fuck you. Nobody want to fuck you.
so we have a question in the chat from YouTube, and it's a good question. I don't think we've really touched on it too much. I mean, we've talked about it together, you and I, but
Yeah,
we haven't talked about it on air. So from H Man H over at YouTube, what do you guys think of the New Testament album?
I mean, personally, to me, it's going to run it for album of the year, in my opinion. So I mean,
It was
we talked about. I think I asked you, and because when I listened to it, I listened to it a few times, and then about the third time I listened to it, I started picking out stuff, and I'm just like, it seems like they picked a little bit of sound from their history and
yep
included it in this album. So, because I mean,
yep
you heard a little bit of Ritual, you heard a little bit of Practice What You Preach,
mm-hmm.
you've heard a little bit of Brotherhood of the Snake. I mean, you heard a little bit of every past album, I think.
Yeah,
So it's almost like a tribute to Testament
to
by
themselves.
Testament.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
a testament to testament. Yeah,
a testament to Testament. Yeah, so I
yeah.
mean, there you
No,
go.
I
So,
mean, but it's and what I've kind of and I totally agree with that because you asked me what I thought, and I was like, yeah,
mm-hmm.
absolutely, because I thought the same thing, that there were definitely pretty much shades of every Testament era in the album, and but even on top of that, what still kind of amazes me is even as far into their career as they are, Chuck Billy still is able to evolve lyric or
Oh yeah,
vocally, not lyrically. Well, I mean that too, but I mean, what I was referring to was actually was vocally though,
mm-hmm.
because I mean, and he's done it here and there, but I wasn't expecting like, I mean, they based track the first track on the album
Oh yeah,
was basically a death metal
oh
song from
yeah, yeah,
Testament.
for
I was like, I
sure.
was not expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't either. I was
Yeah,
like, wait a
so I
second.
mean,
I
even
actually thought I was on the wrong album. I
yeah, so I mean, even
was like,
as
wait, am I on the right album?
yeah, so even
Uh,
as far into their careers they are, I mean, Chuck Billy is still able to do those kind of things with his voice, and to add new elements to their sound.
mhm.
Alex is still Alex. I mean, he's still tearing things up. Eric Peterson is still an amazing guitar player. And then and the band has been quoted as saying this, the what Chris Dovas has added to the band from a drumming perspective, it has been kind of, I guess, like it's kind of been like a rejuvenation,
Mm-hmm.
you
I
know.
mean that says a lot because based on the drummers that they've
I
had. So
know, and that's what I mean, because the pedigree of the drummers that they've had. So I mean, for the band to say that, that's not just me saying it. I mean,
right.
like because Eric was working with Chris Dovas on the new music when he joined the band, when he came over from Seven Spires, and Eric was kind of quoted as saying it's amazing what he brings to the band, the youthful enthusiasm, of course, but just the dynamic that he adds.
Mm-hmm.
And that does say a lot considering the drummers that the band has had in the
Mm-hmm.
past. So I
Exactly.
mean,
That's
but
just not us saying it. That's Loudwire saying it. Metal Hammer saying it.
yeah, and it's
I'm just yeah. I don't know if you knew where I was going with that,
yeah, but I mean it's the members of the band saying it too.
but
So
yeah, that's the thing. Is like when you got members of the actual band saying stuff like that, it's kind of that's some pretty big accolades, I think. So
yeah, so I mean, the new album is everything that I expected it
oh
to be,
oh yeah,
and
top three album of the year for sure. So
and I don't mean that as a bad thing, because I mean, Testament has set a super high bar, so
mhm,
it was everything that I expected it to be, with a few things that surprised me. So I
mhm.
mean, and I do mean that in all the best ways. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
I
I
mean,
don't think I've heard a recent ballad that good either. Man, it's like uh, just
I mean,
I was so impressed by that. I was just
Yeah.
like, wow, this is crazy because that's the one that kind of gave me the kind of the ritual vibe when they
Hmm.
went into that. They went into
And
to
for my
the
money,
ballad.
like, for my money, Room 117 is like low.
Oh, it's so
Is
good.
Room 117 is one of those like low key kind of,
Hmm.
out of nowhere kind of, one of those songs is like, holy shit, man, this is like one of those, deep cut B-side kind of one of my favorite song kind of deals. Like one of those songs that you don't expect for it to come out of nowhere, and it just ends up
Hmm.
being like, holy shit, that song is so awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so yeah, to answer your question, H man, I mean it's, yeah, superb.
Hmm. Oh, actually, we appreciate the question too, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
It's
Thank you for the question,
love
and thank you for
love
checking
it,
out the show,
love
man. We appreciate
yeah,
it.
love the interaction. So,
Absolutely. Okay, I have two more stories.
okay.
Try to get through these relatively quickly. Um, in a new interview with the Mike James Rock Show. Oh, this is over at Blabbermouth, by the way. In a new interview with the Mike James Rock Show, Hatebreed guitarist Wayne Lazanak offered an update on his health more than 2 months after he underwent an operation to remove a benign brain tumor. Regarding how he was initially diagnosed with the tumor, Wayne said, as transcribed by the same website I'm reading this off of, quote, I had symptoms at the UK's Download Festival in June. I went to the doctor in France the next day. It was weird. My lip got numb, and I was like, that's kind of weird. But then I couldn't talk. It was almost like I was having a stroke. So then we had a day off in France the next day. I was fine the next day, but I was like, let me go see my doctor. My girlfriend actually told me, I was like, I'm fine. She's like, you better go or I'm going to come out there. I was like, all right, I'll go. And then I got the scan and they saw a big tumor. I had to stay overnight. Then they did the MRI and then they finally said it was benign. There was no cancer, which was good, but it was big. And they said it's probably been there for years, the doctor said. And they were like, it's not an emergency, but get it done within the next 3 months. So I went back to the US, made an appointment with the surgeon. I got it taken out, and now I'm here back on tour with Hatebreed. End quote. Regarding his recovery, Wayne said, quote, I got the surgery August 4th. I couldn't even talk when they first took the tumor out because it was in my speech center. So I actually had a mild stroke when they took it out. So I couldn't talk. I couldn't write. It was almost like I just forgot how to speak. So I needed a speech therapist, all that stuff. I was in the hospital for 5 days, something like that. So I was just in bed. When I got home, it was slow. When I first got home, I picked it up. That was one of the first things I did. I was like, all right, I know the chords. And then at the time, as time went on, I was fine. That was talking about obviously relearning to play the guitar.
Hmm.
He continued, they said I should probably be doing normal things within 4 to 8 weeks. And then I was like, well, can I go on tour? And they were asking me questions and doing tests. They were just like, don't headbang too crazy. That's my one thing. I'm like, I'll try not to. It's hard, but yeah, that was about it. But I'm pretty good now, so I'm happy. The brain had to relearn after the disruption. So that's kind of a good uh,
Yeah.
kind of a good thing that he's able to kind of, of course, the one good thing is that even though the tumor was there, they found out that it wasn't cancerous, but which is a good thing. It's also the other good thing is that actually they were able to go in and take it out, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, and was able to recover from that, of course. So always always a good thing. And I am actually searching for. Give me a second. I'm searching for my last story because it was also on Blabbermouth, but it was a little further down the list. And instead of just having multiple tabs open, which slows everything down,
Right.
I'm just gonna search for it on the list real quick. So bear with me just 1 second. Hell, maybe I should have just had it open. Nope, there it is. All right, cool. There it is right there. All right, my last story, also over at Blabbermouth. The Heavy Music Collective, HMC, has officially launched, co-founded by Ben Collar of Converge, Killer Be Killed, and Mutoid Man, and Jeff Price, founder and former CEO of TuneCore Audium, and founder and current CEO of World Collections. The new initiative's mission is to ensure heavy music songwriters finally receive the streaming royalties they've rightfully earned. A subsidiary of World Collections, the leading global publishing administration company founded by Price, the HMC focuses specifically on recovering unpaid digital publishing royalties via direct agreements from platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, and other global streaming services. Often referred to as quote unquote black box money, these unclaimed royalties are given away to the major music companies and others if not identified and claimed. The HMC, in conjunction with World Collections, tracks down and recovers these royalties before they are taken via direct relationships with services like Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and with the MLC in the US. Quote, I felt like I was doing everything right, working with major collection organizations like ASCAP, Sound Exchange, Cobalt, and others, but I still had a feeling that I was missing some pieces of the puzzle. I assumed that between all of these agencies and my record labels, I was collecting all the money owed me. I was wrong, said Caller. What I've come to learn is that the system, particularly when it comes to digital songwriter and mechanical royalties, is confusing at best and corrupt at worst. Thanks to Jeff Price and my other business partners at the HMC, I finally have a clear, transparent view of where my royalties are generated and how to collect them properly. This experience has put me on a mission. I'm now dedicating myself to educating others so they don't have to learn the hard way like I did. We all deserve to be fairly compensated for the art that we create, not lied to and robbed, end quote. In addition to royalty recovery and collection of newly earned royalties, the HMC serves as, you fucking piece of garbage.
That's what they said? I'm just kidding.
No.
uh,
Where the hell was I? Uh,
have an ad pop up.
okay. In addition to royalty recovery, yeah. In addition to royalty recovery and collection of newly earned royalties, the HMC serves as an educational and advocacy hub for songwriters. HMC produces resources to help musicians better understand how digital songwriter and mechanical royalties work, how to protect their copyrights, and how to navigate a system that is often intentionally opaque. By combining action and education, AMC aims not only to recover lost and new income into songwriters' pockets, but also to empower artists with the knowledge to protect their rights going forward. The HMC leverages the infrastructure and expertise of World Collections, which already represents artists including Metallica, Greta Van Fleet, The Offspring, Baroness Converge, Health, Yngwie Malmsteen, and others. With the launch of HMC, Collar and Price are doubling down on their shared commitment to protect original music and fight for fair compensation across the global heavy music community. The HMC is a new initiative from Collar and Price's World Collections dedicated to helping songwriters. And you mother... God damn you, McAfee, knock it off. If I'm worried about it, I won't go there. The HMC is a new initiative from Collar and Price's World Collections dedicated to helping songwriters in heavy music collect and recover unpaid publishing royalties. And this is basically just a recap paragraph of the entire story. So I'm just going to cut it off right there. So that's actually a very good thing for them to. Whoa, hello there. Shade Viking, welcome. But another member in the chat on YouTube. So yeah, that's an awesome thing that is out there now. That there are people who, unfortunately, like it said in the story, have had to learn the hard way of what they've had to experience. You know, missing out on some of the money that they were owed. So it's good that those two guys have gotten together with their particular corporations or their whatever they've got going on. They've collaborated, and hopefully moving forward, you know, all of these guys will get guys and girls will get the money that they're owed, especially from, you know, Spotify and these streaming services. Because we all know that it's just, you know, shit what they're getting paid. So
well, the thing that we talk about is the guy running this thing shouldn't be making $10 million a year if the bands aren't, you know, are making bullshit money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's good to make a profit off the thing, but you don't. That's just ridiculous, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in my opinion, you had $9 million you could have spread around. So
this is true,
at least. But
yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, that should be a good thing. Hopefully, you know, I think we had talked a little bit about that before, but I don't think it was that in depth. I think maybe it's like a headline or something at one point, but because it wasn't like a.
It hadn't
they hadn't had it fully functional.
Yeah, it hadn't fully come to fruition yet. So it was just something that was in its infancy. I think the first time we talked about it, but yeah, so it's up and running now, and the good thing is like they're already representing big time artists. So I mean that just adds legitimacy to the whole thing, which is
exactly. All right, other headlines. New Slipknot music is on the way, according to the band's drummer Eloy Casagrande. He says, "We are cooking." So
Let
you
him
know,
cook. Yeah.
yeah. So, man, here we go. Slipknot probably a 2026 album that we're going to look at.
Probably.
Jesus Christ, man! 2026 is just going to be. We say this every year. We're like, how can it get bigger? Well, I think they take the challenge every year.
Yeah,
It's like,
the heavy metal community is like, here, hold my beer.
yeah,
So
right. So,
I'm here for it. Hey,
yeah, hell yeah.
I'm in.
What keeps us going? So,
Yeah, don't threaten me
uh,
with a good time. So.
and then talking about Testament, they were talking about Chuck Billy says the band's shooting to do another record next year. So that's speaking of new music, so
Yeah.
that's crazy to have. They're going to do the event or the Trivium thing. Back to back, back to back
Yeah.
albums. Uh,
H man H, thank you for the compliment, buddy. We appreciate it.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, stop by anytime. Like I said, check out all of our other stuff on Spotify if you're, or actually on here too. I mean, all of it's
Mm-hmm.
there. So,
Oh yeah.
all the band interviews and stuff. If you're looking for new music, check out some of that stuff because we've interviewed some really underrated bands on here.
Yes.
So also in the headlines, Anthrax and Pantera drummer and the Violent Hour singer Carla Harvey and the Anthrax Pantera drummer Charlie Benante were married in Las Vegas this week, and Kiss legend Gene Simmons was on hand to officiate.
Yeah,
So
that's.
how many people can say they ever got married by Gene Simmons? That's pretty
I
big.
don't think too many.
It's pretty wild.
And then
Mayor,
speaking of Gene Simmons, I also brought this up during this past week's Metalhead Minute too. I mean, he kind of passed out behind the wheel and got into a car accident. So
oh man, yeah, I didn't hear
yeah,
that. I didn't see that story.
yeah.
So, wow.
I mean, he's fine, of
Well,
course.
yeah, but still,
He's fine,
I mean,
but yeah, man, that's kind of scary. So.
that's because his tongue got a mind of its own and took the wheel. Is that what happened?
Well, I mean, it probably took all the blood from his brain. So.
Oh man! Mayor of Belgian municipality reportedly cancels Disturbed show over singer David Draymond's stance on Gaza conflict. This is. I only brought this up because like I said, I don't like being political on the show, but I bring this up because I think stuff like this is going to wind up being where American bands don't go overseas a lot, and then the overseas bands don't come here a lot. And I think that's where we're heading. I hate to say that, but I mean,
You
but
might be
if you
right.
but if you see the stuff that goes on right now, you're just like, man, this is going to be horrible for the music industry. I mean, in general, because if you got bands, that happens, and some other bands like, well, hell, I ain't touring there because if they're going to do shit like that, but it is they have every right to do what they want to do. It's their country. I'm not telling them how to run their country. They want to do those things. They most certainly have that right to do those things. But
Yeah.
still, I still feel like it's going to cause some issues going forward and with stuff.
Yeah, you might be right.
I hope I'm not. I hope I'm wrong. That's one of those cases where I hope I'm wrong. But all right, Enterprise Earth's Gabe Mango joins Devil Driver. So they had that replacement pretty fast. So
Yeah, they did.
trademark application seems to suggest Back to the Beginning may become a recurring festival, which I'm okay with that. I mean, congrats to England because we won't ever see it, but
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, I think that should be a they had a trademark application, so that somebody's talking about doing something, or they went to trademark it. So, but that's pretty interesting to see, and I don't know if it's going to be. I would think that it would be kind of a a tour, but then where you have to play back type of stuff too, I guess. But
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how the whole thing kind of manifests itself after the fact. Considering that I mean, Ozzy's not around anymore, of course,
yeah,
but so it would kind of be interesting to see what format.
well,
What becomes of that from a format
I
perspective.
think it did so well, and then a lot of charities benefited off of it too. So I think that's kind of what they were
Yeah.
looking at. So I mean it's a win-win really. If you think about it, everybody has a good time, and a lot of charities kind of get a lot out of it. So
Mm-hmm.
so
I think as long as the charity aspect of it remains intact,
Right.
I would be kind of okay with
Yeah.
whatever kind of,
Exactly.
lineup or format, whatever they decide on. But I think the whole thing being a charity thing, I think that's the one thing that I would like to see remain intact.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm same. I hope that does too. All right. Iron Maiden announces a reissue of their 1985 live album, Live After Death. So that ought to be pretty interesting.
Yep.
Uh, ISIS set to reissue their two final albums on vinyl. And I actually did this story for two reasons. One, I've never heard of ISIS, or not this ISIS anyway. And two, that takes a lot of balls to
Yeah,
have
it does.
a metal band to name ISIS. But
Of course, the messed up thing. I bet I have a feeling the metal band was probably first. That's the messed up thing.
well, I'm sure it probably was.
Yeah.
I'm not to have two final albums on vinyl would sense that they've been around for a minute. So,
Right.
and Dark Tranquility also announces a massive 17 cassette box set.
I
Yeah,
saw that.
you heard that right? 17
Cassettes. Yeah.
cassettes. Yeah. I was like, not albums, not CDs, cassettes. I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. Amon Amarth, Body Count, Sepultura, and more are added to the Sonic Temple 2026. I'll be able to get you more of that whenever we finalize the deal. I usually wait till it finalizes before I talk a whole lot about it. So
Right.
then slip up with press applications, leak potential date for next year's Sick New World. So evidently it is going to be happening next year.
And it's supposedly happening in two different places, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, okay. That's, I didn't get that part, so that's pretty cool. Malevolent Creations Phil Fasciana drops out of tour, apologizes for actions that forced his exits, and then if you don't know, that it was alcohol related. He's checked himself into rehab and stuff, so
Oh, okay.
hopefully he gets the help he needs to get back normal, and then he can get back in out on the road with Malevolent Creation. Hopefully, they're standing by him and
Hmm.
gonna let him do his thing and come back. We'll see. Hopefully we're not having a Malevolent Creations fiasco next year like we're doing with a couple other bands right now.
Right. Yeah.
Um, Lorna Shore of Whitechapel, Signs of the Swarm, and more added to next year's Welcome to Rockville. Like I said, these are a couple of the festivals that we usually cover when we get the full lineup. So, but I like to point out like what they got cooking, so everybody can kind of get it on the radar. So, uh, Whitechapel has been nominated for Grammy consideration for Hymns and Dissonance under the Best Metal Performance category. Congrats to those guys. Hopefully they'll get the nod, but we'll see. Consideration doesn't mean they're actually going to be nominated. So UDO parts ways with guitarist Andrew Smirnoff. I think that's something you may have put in the
Yeah.
group page earlier this week.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
And then cannabis corpse, not cannibal, cannabis.
Yeah. To be perfectly clear,
Yeah,
cannabis, not
yeah,
cannibal. Yeah.
yeah. They have broken up. And then December 31st, 2025 will mark the end of MTV, although MTV, as we know, it's been gone for years, but
Yeah.
that's going to be the end, period. They're just taking MTV completely off the air.
Which is so stupid. I mean,
So this is the thing. We were talking.
they did it to them. I mean, they did it to themselves.
Yeah, they did. Me and my wife was talking about this the other day, and I said, if they were smart, whenever I think the last video was played in 2011 or something. I don't know, something like that.
Which is ridiculous.
When it wasn't even like it wasn't even like a video, show at that time. It was probably just an hour here and there. I mean, it wasn't because they was basing it all around their
Right.
reality shows, so they put in music videos in between. But yeah, so I was talking to my wife. I said, if they were smart, they would have did something like YouTube back in the 90s or 2000s, and then would have would have been able to keep things going because they would have had the show, and then they would have had the actual stuff like YouTube. You know what I mean? Where you could have put your stuff on there and then got hits and whatever, just
Yep.
watches and stuff. And I guess what I should say, MTV missed out on the streaming part of everything. So when they should have got into both sides of the spectrum there, and they'd still be around.
Yep.
But yeah, so.
But yep, they actually did. They actually definitely did themselves in.
Oh yeah, and that was all the headlines that I had. I don't know if you had anything to add to that.
No, I mean, I added there were a couple of things that I kind of, made mention of a couple of things, expanded on, but no, that was all.
Okay.
Yep, all
So,
good.
all right. And
All
then
good.
we will go into hitting the road. I do have two things that I'm going to talk about here, and then you can have at it.
Cool.
So, with our eyes to 2026 and the end of the year that felt like it would never end, new metal outfit Nonpoint are going out with a bang. For 4 days in the American Midwest, Nonpoint will cut loose with Boy Hit Car and Auro Wave for an end of the year celebration. Excuse me. And when I say Midwest, I mean very much in the middle of the country.
Right. Yeah.
If you're unable to get to Michigan, Indiana, or Wisconsin, you're going to miss out on this run of shows. The first show will take place on December 17th in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the last show will happen on New Year's Eve, 31st in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Speaking of the shows, Nonpoint wrote the following, quote, celebrate 2025 and all that we leave behind with Nonpoint, Boy Hits Cars, and Auro Wave as we hit the Midwest for a 4-day party. Tickets go on sale this Friday, end quote. So there you go. Tickets will go on sale, or actually they're on sale now. They went on sale yesterday, but be sure to keep an eye out if you're going to be in the area. Otherwise, you will have to wait till next year. Last 4 tour dates is 1227 Grand Rapids, Michigan at Elevation, 1228 Fort Wayne, Indiana at Pierre's, 1230 Madison, Wisconsin at the Majestic, and then 1231 Green Bay, Wisconsin at the Epic Event Center. That was from over at Metal Sucks. And then I got this one over from Metal Injection. Biohazard's fall tour may have hit a few bumps. They're not calling it quits. Has a following a wave of canceled dates and swirling speculation over sluggish ticket sales. Biohazard have announced a retooled version of their upcoming headlining run, now featuring multi-platinum rap duo Onyx with rising metalcore outfit Bayway and new metal chaos merchant Swollen Teeth. While some fans were left wondering if the tour might collapse entirely, Biohazard's Billy Graziade took to social media to put the blame squarely on promoters. It's 99% of the time the promoters, guys, they get nervous because they didn't do their job and promote the show and let people know a band is playing. Been like this since we started, end quote. And we've heard stories like that personally. So,
Yep.
Bayway clearly not waiting around for the dust to settle, have booked their own run to fill in the newly created gaps. The revamped track kicks off October 23rd in Pontiac, Michigan, and will wrap up just over a week later in New Haven, Connecticut. So the tour got kind of shrunk, I guess, and then the other bands kind of picked up and filled in the dates that where they were supposed to play with Biohazard. So,
Yep.
I guess it all kind of works out in a way, but
I mean, it still sucks that these promoters do a half-assed job, and then because they still get to be promoters at the end of the day. I mean, there'll just be more concerts for them to promote, but I mean, then the artists take the fall and take the hit. So,
well, it's like we were talking about with Hidden Intent, where they when they were over here before, saying their promoter was too much worried about promoting the bigger band. I don't remember if it was Breaking Benjamin or whoever it was. But it seemed like it was them or somebody in that realm. But they thought, oh, this is the bigger band. We're going to take care of them. The hell with Hidden Intent and Angel Sapatrio. We don't. They're all right. They'll make it. They'll be all right. Like, no, man. That's
the thing. They're trying to make it.
Right. The people that came over, the bands that come over here from another country. We were talking Australia, Spain, and I can't remember where the other band was from. But they were from a whole different. Brazil, maybe?
I think Nervo Chaos. I think they are from Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah. So you think of 3 different countries, and they got together to come on a United States tour, and they get treated like that is some bullshit. Like I don't care who your manager or promoter was. They did a horrible job.
Yeah.
It's like just because this other band's bigger, that should mean you don't need to focus on them as much. They're going to sell. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't know, man. That's just my opinion.
Oh, that was definitely a fail on the part of the promoter, no doubt.
Oh yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah. When you show up to a show that we were thinking going to be a couple hundred people there, and there was like 40. It was
it was I felt so bad. I did. I felt so bad.
I mean, it was good for us. We got to meet and greet with everybody, but
yeah, I mean, we got to rub elbows with them because they were hanging out after this. So it kind of worked out for us personally as fans. But I mean, for bands like that to come, like you said, as far as they came, that crowd was embarrassing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was all I had for hitting the road. So
All right. Well, I will pick up where you left off for the week of the 11th through the 17th, starting out over at the PRP. We have Citizen Soldier and Kill the Lights going on a tour of the UK starting November 13th in Margate, England at Dreamland, finishing November 23rd in Nottingham, England at Rock City. Then we have the Callous Dowboys going on a December headlining tour with Psycho Frame, From Joy, and Reverent appearing at select dates starting December 11th in Huntington, West Virginia at The Loud, featuring From Joy, finishing December 20th in Birmingham, Alabama at Work Play for Gideon's Gidmus show. More on that in a minute. Spirit Box, Periphery, and Honey Revenge going on a fall U.S. tour starting November 12th in Ontario, California at the Toyota Arena, finishing December 7th in Wallingford, Connecticut at the Toyota Oakdale Theater. They will be in Nashville on November 25th at the Pinnacle. Entheos, our friend Cheney Crab from
yeah.
Entheos. Fallujah, The Zenith Passage, and Tracheotomy are going on a North American tour, which will be Entheos' first headlining tour in North America.
Oh, nice.
Starting October 30th in New Orleans, Louisiana at Southport Hall. Finishing where? You guessed it, Nashville, Tennessee at the end on December 6th.
We have to check
Speaking
that
of
out.
speaking of the Gidmus shows, Gideon has launched a pair of shows for their inaugural Gidmus Spectacular, which are one-day festival shows with multiple bands listed. I'm not listing all of those. You can go look them up. But the two dates are December 13th in Nashville at Eastside Bowl, and then December 20th in Birmingham, Alabama at Workplay. So, yeah, might be worth checking out. Then we have Hypocrisy, Abath, Vomitory, and Vride going to Europe and to the UK next spring, starting April 2nd, 2026 in Berlin, Germany at Astra, finishing May 2nd, 2026 in London, England at the Incineration Festival. Abath will not be at that date. Cataclysm, Vader, and Blood Red Throne are going to Europe and to the UK next year also, starting February 8th in Athens, Greece at Floyd, finishing March 3rd in Bangalore, India at Phoenix Market City. That tour is also going to Thailand, Australia, Japan. So I mean that's
Wow. That's
that's
a
a
world tour.
that's a definite world tour. Thrice is going to Australia and New Zealand next year. No word yet on any openers. Starting April 29th in Auckland, New Zealand at Power Station, finishing May 7th in Perth, Australia at the Astor Theatre. Metal Allegiance has announced that they will perform at the House of Blues in Anaheim, California on January 22nd, 2026, with Chained Saint, Red Rain, and Lost Legacy opening. Many guests are also scheduled to appear. Dropkick Murphys, the Agarlights, and Haywire are going on a U.S. tour next year, starting February 9th, 2026 in Portland, Maine at the State Theater, finishing March 10th in Norfolk, Virginia at the Norva. The only Tennessee date is February 21st in Chattanooga at the Signal. Gwar has announced some headlining Australian dates scheduled around their Good Things Festival appearances. Those dates are November 30th in Brisbane at Crowbar, December 2nd in Sydney at Factory Theatre, and December 4th in Melbourne at Max Watts. Butcher Babies, Infected Rain, and Black Spikes are going to Europe and to the UK next year. Starting March 25th in Glasgow, Scotland at Slay, finishing April 28th in Helsinki, Finland at Ani Wali. Korn, Spirit Box, and 7 Hours After Violet are going to Latin America next year, starting May 2nd in 2026 in Bogota, Colombia at Coliseo MedPlus, finishing May 19th in Mexico City, Mexico at Palacio de los Deportes. No, 7 Hours After Violet will not be at the Mexico City show. Opeth has announced their Soul Irish show for 2026, which will be on August 2nd in Dublin at the Bord Gais Energy Theatre, featuring special guests. Those have not been announced yet. The Browning, Stain the Canvas, The Defect, and Heaven.exe are going to Europe next April. Starting April 3rd in Haarlem, Netherlands at Patronaut, finishing April 18th in Derby, Belgium at Rock Festival. Stain the Canvas and Heaven.exe will not be at the festival. Knocked Loose and High Viz have announced a couple of Australian dates also scheduled after their appearance at the Good Things Festival. December 9th in Sydney, Australia at Liberty Hall, and December 10th in Melbourne, Australia at the Northcote Theatre. Crowbot and the Atomic Bitchwax are going on a fall U.S. tour, which is starting very soon, starting October 24th in Syracuse, New York at the Lost Horizon, finishing November 23rd in Philadelphia at Milk Boy. And last but not least, over at blabbermouth.net, Glenn Hughes has announced a spring tour for next year, starting March 27th in San Juan Capistrano, California at Coach House, finishing May 10th in Tempe, Arizona at The Marquee. That is hitting the road for the 11th through the 17th.
Nice. Hey, what's up, Dana?
Hey, Dana.
Hope everything's good with you, brother.
What's up, guy?
What's up, guy?
What's up, guy?
It's funny, like every time I hear Dublin now, I can't get the joke from Hall Pass out of my head. Like,
oh God, Lord.
All right, that will take us over to our theme of the week, which we've been sitting on for a few weeks now. So,
yeah. It's our theme. It's our theme of the month.
Yeah, there you go, theme of the month. Yeah, we were sitting on it, and then the interview kind of took place. You know, the week we were going to do it, and then we were off the next week, of course, and then so we've been sitting on it for a few weeks now. So. Actually, I can't remember. I think it was from 9/20.
I think it was.
It was 9. Yeah, because we had everything. You know, I had everything for 9/20 made out and stuff, and then we actually had an impromptu interview. So so okay, then I guess we're just not going to do that. We're going to do this. Okay. So, which I'm not going to complain. So
nope, me neither. Because a theme of the week playlist. I mean, that can just sit and marinate. It's fine.
Oh well, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, probably on our end, it would probably help us to add stuff to it that we probably wouldn't have seen or thought of the first time. So
yeah.
All right, this week's theme of the week is man or machine, and I have the man side of this stuff, I guess. So
yeah, you do.
So it's man size.
Yeah, you do.
So I'll kick mine off with probably the obvious Metallica of Wolf and Man from the Metallica 1991 album. Then we went with the Blood Simple Dead Man Walking from Red Harvest 2007. Angelo Sapatrita in Man from Hidden Evolution 2015. Butcher Babies Burned the Straw Man from Lilith 2017. Ex-Hoarder, The Man That Never Was, which was a single in 2020. A Perfect Murder, Deceit of Man, which from Strength Through Vengeance 2005. Then we had Devil, Dead Man Switch from Hush 2022. I need to check on those guys. I haven't talked to them in a while. Then we had Ozzy Miracle Man for No Rest for the Wicked 1988. Lamb of God, Resurrection Man from Lamb of God 2020. Flotsam Jetson, Demolition Man from The End of Chaos 2019. Disturbed Bad Man from Divisive 2022. Wasp, Locomotive Man from Unholy Terror 2001. Overkill, Last Man Standing from The Wings of War 2019. Spirit Adrift, Hanged Man's Revenged from Ghost at the Gallows 2023. Our good friends Barrel, Man of the Book from Unanticipated Confessions of Love EP 2023. Then we had Trivium, What the Dead Man Say from What the Dead Men Say 2020. Megadeth, Use the Man from Cryptic Writings 1997. Anthrax, One Man Stands from Persistence of Time in 1990. Soulfly, Redemption of Man by God, Enslaved 2012. Exodus, He's a Woman, She's a Man. That's the new single that just came out earlier this year. And then Testament, Man Kills Mankind. A little double there. Dark Roots of Earth from 2012. So
nice. This is gonna be a solid. This could be a solid playlist. Man. All right. No, I mean, yeah. All right. I have had the machine part. Leading off with Beneath the Machine by Sanctity off Road to Bloodshed from 2007. Then Metal Machine by Sabaton off Primo Victoria from 2005. Revelation Machine by Devil Driver off their self-titled debut album from 2003. Shovel-Headed Kill Machine by Exodus off the album of the same name from 2005. Time Machine by Accept off Blood of the Nations from 2010. Resurrection Machine by Death Angel off Killing Season from 2008. Mean Green Killing Machine by Overkill off The Grinding Wheel from 2017. Mind Machine by Primal Fear off Black Sun from 2002. Mean Machine by Dream Evil from In the Night from 2010. Black Hate Machine by A Perfect Murder off Strength Through Vengeance from 2005. Deity Machine by Artillery off Penalty by Perception from 2016. The Nihilist Machine by Savage Messiah off Insurrection Rising from 2009. Slave Machinery by Creator off Violent Revolution from 2001. Machinery of Lies by Destruction from All Hell Breaks Loose from 2000. The Turning of the Gears by Warbringer off of Four Empires Collapse from 2013. Gears by Lamb of God off their self-titled album from 2020. Hate Machine by Dragoria off of Dangerous Species from 2022. Machine World by Iron Savior off of Battering Ram from 2004. Machine Man by Judas Priest off of Demolition, which is now on Spotify from 2001.
Yeah.
Now we just got to get them to put Jugulator on there and we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Then we have Death Machine by Trauma off Awakening from 2022. Horror Metal Moshing Machine by FKU off from Where Moshers Dwell from 2009. Man Against Machine, I got a twofer of my own, by Evil off of Enter the Grave from 2007. Slave to the Machine by Killswitch Engage off Disarm the Descent from 2013. One of my favorite covers, Welcome to the Machine by Shadows Fall off The Art of Balance from 2002. Then Davidian by Machine Head off Burn My Eyes from 1994. And number 26 on my list, Machine from Static X off the album of the same name from 2001.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got to admit, I love messing with Dana. He's funny.
God damn, man. Off the top rope. You kind of walked into that one, Dana.
All right, that will give us into our album reviews, which sounds like we got some doozies for you this week.
Oh, man.
I chose Sanity's Rage, The Dead Don't Run. Sanity's Rage are a thrash metal band formed in 2002 and hail from Belgium. It was like, I guess like each one of them were different parts of Belgium, so I didn't like try to break everything down. It's like
that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to break it down like that. So
that's totally fine.
So current members, you have to bear with me because it's going to be another pronunciation challenge here. Yeah. Current members: Tim De Bishop, bass and vocals. He does backing vocals. He does the bass and backing vocals. Tim De Bruin, I guess Bruin. I don't know. Guitarist. Kenny Clays, guitarist. Kenny Molly, vocals, and then Sam Stolzate. I guess that's how you pronounce that. I have no idea. Stolzate. Drums. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but I probably did. But so, and he is the newest member. He just joined in 2023. The rest of them have been there, kind of from the beginning. So
cool.
So longevity there with most of the band members. The crazy thing is, it's the band's second full length release in that time period. So it's kind of crazy how they've kind of hit and miss. I guess it says they've been active since 2002 to present, though. So I don't know. Kind of like to
interesting
hear the story on all that. But anyway. This one's 10 songs, 47 minutes, 19 seconds in length. I guess the main thing that stuck out on this one was the guitar work. It had some great intros to a lot of the songs and some really awesome solos in a few of the tracks there. Vocally was mostly guttural. I wouldn't say totally guttural, but it was enough to, where I would classify it as guttural.
Okay, I gotcha.
Reminded me kind of a Warbringer a little, I guess, the style of vocals, but it was a little bit deeper.
All right, gotcha.
So yeah, so it was, it's still you can still hear what everything, very understandable. Nothing where you gotta like, what was that? So it was
sure.
Yeah, still very much. Drumming was on point. All of it in. As a collective was, fast paced as you would expect from a thrash band. So definitely, and it has a cool ass album cover too. So make sure you check that out. I'll probably have to add that to my list of album covers this year. So which I'm behind on. I've got stuff marked. I just got to put them in my what PowerPoint.
Right.
Um, so they did have this is the interesting part. They had a 1 minute 45-second intro, and the interesting part was because it didn't lead into the first track; it led into the beginning of the last track.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because I listened to the last track and I thought it started over, and I said, "Oh, wait, that's." And then I had to go back and listen to both tracks. I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." They like started it there, and then it picked up kind of like the last track kind of picked up where the intro left off, and I was like, "Man, that's pretty." I'm not sure if I've ever heard that before.
That's I
That's
must say
yeah,
that's definitely different.
that's really it was really interesting too. So I was just like, man, and I think that made me like it more and more because it was just so uh, kind of different take on the intro.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm definitely giving this one four horns, man. It's a pretty
Nice.
good album, man. I'll go back. They only got one other one, but I still like to go back and check that out from 2012 to see what the difference may have been from the
Sure.
from that's probably what 13 years ago. So I mean, that
Yeah.
could be a big change from 13 years ago. So,
I would think there'd probably be at least some sort of change, at least,
mm-hmm.
sound wise. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
and probably vocally, even if it's the same vocals, you figure that many years, your vocal cords probably change a little bit. So
you would think so.
yeah,
Like I said I'll probably check that one out. They do have an EP too from 2006.
nice.
So
All right, my album review this week is the new album Darker Fates by a band called Hellbearer. They are a thrash band formed in Manchester, England in 2022. They are currently unsigned, and how that is true is beyond me. That I guess they just haven't caught the ear of the right people yet, which is mind boggling. They are a quartet consisting of Kieran Brooks on bass, Sam Hatt on drums, Matthew Robinson on guitar, and Ash Allen on vocal and rhythm guitar. This is the band's second album. Their debut album, For Those About to Bear Hell, came out in 2023, which I did get a chance to listen to this morning.
cool.
It was 8 tracks, about 28 and a half minutes. It was a very, very quick listen. Darker Fates, the new album, is 11 tracks and 52 minutes and 18 seconds. So it was quite a bit longer. But that definitely was not a problem here. There was a 1 minute and 12-second intro, which was fine. It kind of led into track number two. But man, this album was a conglomeration of like Onslaught, Testament, and Slayer. If that tells you anything about what this album was like, I mean, it was fucking riff after riff after riff. I mean, breakdowns were fantastic. The solos were incredible. And what I liked about it is like, the shortest song on the album is just a shade under 4 minutes. I mean, you got
Oh, nice.
526, 507, 509, 412, 406, 521, 353, 637, 536, and 539. What I like about those track times, they gave extra time to the guitars. They gave time to all of the instruments, as far as like solos and shit like that. It had the standard verse, chorus, verse, lead in, breakdown, solo, blah blah whatever. But I mean it was just guitars out of this world. The mix was fantastic. I mean, the guitars were, you know, they sounded fantastic. The bass was prevalent. The drums were there like they should have been. Of course, everything was where it should have been from a sonic standpoint. But I mean, it was just so good. I mean, I'm just looking for a better description. It was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, just I will say this. I will try to like stop rambling on. From a musical standpoint, the musical compositions along with the mix were perfect, which is very, very rare for me to say. The way everything was composed and mixed, the way it sounded, musically, it was perfect. The only thing that kept me from giving this a 5 horn rating, there was one thing vocally that annoyed me, and it wasn't the way that Ash sings, because he actually kind of reminds me of the way Chuck Billy sings. He can
Mm.
sing clean, he can sing aggressive, he can sing borderline guttural, he can do all these different things with his voice, which was awesome. The one thing that kept me from giving this 5 horns was there were times during the album when he was singing where he was singing a little bit off cadence.
Mm.
You know when the vocals have a cadence that kind of goes along with the music and everything kind of flows together. There were some times where he would kind of like sing more words than he should have, and it sounded like he was singing faster and getting himself off time.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Other than that, like I say, his vocal style is fine. Vocally, that was the one thing that kind of annoyed me. It's almost like they tried to write too many lyrics for the cadence of a particular song. That
Mm.
happened a few times, to the point where I did pick up on it. It wasn't like a massive deal breaker, but it was something that stood out to me. Like the first time I heard it, I was like, okay, that was weird. And then I picked up on it another few times during the album. Not to the point where it was a major detractor, but if I have to pick one thing out, that was it. So from start to finish, there was not a there was, other than that one little thing. Like I say, musically, I mean, it just, it was, this album was a face melter. The music was perfect as far as I'm concerned. This one's getting 4.5 horns.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do we have to look forward to next week?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I did
Yeah.
listen. I also listened to Sabaton's new album this morning.
Oh, okay.
4 horns.
Um,
Uh, and let's see, what do we have? Yep.
I forgot about. I think I've seen that on the list and say, oh, he'll definitely have to listen to that one.
Oh yeah, I did. I absolutely did. Yeah, coming up this Friday, October 24th, from our friends at heavymusichq.com, leading off with the Acacia Strain with You Are Safe from God here. Then we have Adept with Blood Covenant. We have Adwantin with Apocryphal Verse. Aligned in Ruins with Algia, that's an EP. Alchemia with a self-titled EP. Arsenic Kitchen with Handbook for the Recently Deceased, that's an EP. That one might be, I think your wife may want to check that out with the with the Beetlejuice reference.
Oh, yeah.
Then we have Ars Onirica with 2.5 Nighttime. That's an EP. Bad Juju with Simulacra. That's an EP. Bad Rain with Louder Than Words. Beholder with Tower of the Broken God. That's an EP. Berg Fried with Romantic 3. Black Shape with Prismer 1. That's an EP. Blaze with Out Through the Door, Bone Church with Deliverance, Bonginator with Retro Death, Born Divided with Chronicle of a Shipwreck, Brainwave with Ill Intent, Breath with Brahmin, Cattle Mass with Alpha 1128, Cemetery Moon with Dominion of Ashes, Cold Rain with Optimize, that's an EP, Conjurer with Unself, Dara with Holier Than Thou, Dave Tinnelt with Power of Discretion, Dawn Phage with 3, Dawn Walker with The Between, Dayseeker with Creature in the Black Knight, Day Tripper with The Alchemist, that's an EP, D's Nuts with Saudade,
Got him.
yep, got him. Deteriorate with Awakening, Devastrosity with Eviscerating Desolation, Devoid of Thought with Necrotic Surface Discarded, Disarray with The Darkening, that's an EP, Disfiguring the Goddess with Galapagos, that's an EP as well, Distaste with Agony Positor, Doro with Warriors of the Sea, Downswing with And Everything Was Dark, Drafnasura with Ritual of Split Tongues, Eldur with Rituals of Death and Necromancy, Ella Farmers with Western Wilderness, Electrostorm with Evertale. That album was sent to us. That's in our inbox right now, I
Yeah.
believe. Epistulum with Cantiga Psychotica, Esprit d'Air with Eons, Fatal Portrait with An Elusive Instinct for Lascivia Redux, Five Finger Death Punch with 20 Years of Five Finger Death Punch, Best of Volume 2, Glacia with Fear, Goat Father with House of the Rising Smoke, Grandma's Ashes with Bruxism, I know, Grave Girls with Empress of a Shattered Glass, Hail the Sun with Cut, Turn, Fade Back, Heaven's Gate with a Heart is a Heavy Burden, that's an EP, Heavy Pettin with Rock Generation, Helix Noir with Becoming the Cure, Horse Jumper of Love with Disaster Trick, the Deluxe Edition, Hostilia with Face the Fire, In Lieu with Hooligan, In Limine with Inveratus, Jet Jaguar with Severance, Juliet Ruin with Regime, that's an EP, Karate Steve with Time Under Tension. It must be Scuba Steve's cousin.
Yeah.
Killer Hearts with Unchained and Bloodstained. Last Sir Tilio with Transcend. Lars Frederick uh, Foilier, I guess. Quattro Raconti. Leah Martin Brown with Love and Other Crimes. Leprous with An Evening of Atonement. Ley Lines with Sepulchral. EP. That's an EP. The Lunar Effect with Fortune's Always Hiding. Malady with Symptoms 5. That's an EP. Mammoth with The End, not Mammoth WVH. Actually, I'm taking it back. That is Mammoth WVH.
Yeah, they took the VH out. Yep.
Yep, change the name of it. I just realized that as soon as I said it. Yep. Mastiff with For All the Dead Dreams. That's an EP. Most Generator with Live at Roadburn Festival 2008. Mugger with Want the World. That's an EP. The Munsons with Degradation in the Hyperial. Necronemesis / Gangrencia with Putrid Sanctity. That is a split EP. Nine Treasures with Seeking the Absolute. Old Year with No Descent. Our Oceans with Right Here, Right Now. Outer Burst with Witchcraft. Pages with No More Can Be Done. Peril with Architecture du Vertige. I don't know. Petrified with Trial by Fire. Phaeton with Neurogenesis. Ping with Songs from the Nebula. Post-Death soundtrack with Grist. Psychonaut with Worldmaker. Remina with The Silver Sea. Reveria with A Fiction in Bloom. Ronnie Romero with Backbone. Scorching Term with Ossuary. Scythe Beast with Anthem of the Rotten. Secret Rule with X, I'm sure that means 10. Seigman with Dissonance. Serena Telly with Green. Serge Tankian with covers, collaborations, and collages. Shiraz Lane with Invertigo. Since April with Rebirth. Sinister Days with Disconnect Society. That's an EP. Solar Suns with Altitude. Something is Waiting with Live Lick. Soulfly with Chama. Nice. Mm-hmm. Speed with All My Angels. That's an EP. Spiritual Cramp with Rude. Spogelse with Spogelse 2. Star Ace with Real. Sumo Psycho with Neon Void. Tachipnik with Awakened. Thaumaturgy with Pestilential Hymns. Them with Psychedelic Enigma. Thus Live Humans with Art Deco 2. Torture Hammer with a self-titled EP. Trash Compactor with a self-titled EP. Tuesday the Sky with Indoor Enthusiast. Tyson Motzenbacher with Modern Worries. Under Black Sky with Bad Blood. Valletta with Bitter Lucid Truth. That's an EP. Vanguardian with 3 in Humanity. Various Artists Can't Get Enough. A tribute to Bad Company. Vows with I'll Fill Your House with an Army. Wino with Create or Die. And finally, last but not least, Wrathchild America with Climbing the Walls. That is a re-release. So quite a bit of stuff coming out this Friday. That's nice. That's one of the longer lists we've had here in a little bit.
Yep. Tweet. Jeez, what the hell?
Dana, man, we'll see you, bud.
Yeah, man. Have a good one, brother. So an interesting thing. I started following Sumo Psycho when they did a show with Nonpoint, and I got to meet Sky Sweetnam, which is she's an awesome chick, man. She's very outgoing with their fans, don't mind taking pictures or signing autographs. It's really cool that they do the things they do. And her boyfriend's in the band too, and he's a really cool dude too, man. He is actually makes their albums. He's got they have their own stamp machine and everything to make. He was showing how to make their albums the other day on their socials, and I thought that was pretty cool, man, how they did that stuff. But yeah, talking about a DIY band. That's a DIY band, making your own albums and everything. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. So they have a warehouse where they go and they set up all their they set up scenes and stuff and do their videos inside that warehouse. That's where they cool. do. Yeah, so they do everything inside that warehouse. I mean, yeah, if you're gonna rent something, you might as well make use of it, I guess. So.
Oh God, absolutely.
Yeah, pretty cool. Like I said, I'm not a fan of everything they put out, but that's definitely cool that they do what they do, man.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of what I wanted to put out there is kind of DIY. It doesn't always mean just recording. I mean, DIY does a lot of stuff within the band. So
kind of sounds like Never Obey Again.
Yeah, it's just everything,
Yeah.
Exactly about Never Obey. So cool on their part, man. So
yeah, good for them.
All right, that will be the show for today. So, in the meantime, you want to check out our 24 streaming radio station at radio.thefrontrow.net. Uh,
That's right. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, our Facebook group and Facebook page, our X account, Instagram, Twitch, the YouTube channel, Rumble, TikTok, and as it says on the bottom, check out all the past band interviews and playlists on Spotify. Email us at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com.
that's right. So, yep. And you can always find any of our older shows on the Spotify and YouTube. It's usually they're the only two permanent ones now, I guess.
Yeah.
So everybody else kind of shits the old stuff out every 30 days or something.
Yep.
Like,
Got to
so
cleanse the system, I guess.
yeah, I guess I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy how they do that, but whatever.
Yeah.
I know Twitch doesn't do. I think they
I
only
think
do 14 days. I think is all they do. So
at
unless
most.
it's changed, I mean, it used to be 14 days. I know Facebook changed their policy to 30. So they send me I don't know if you see it, but they send us a thing all the time saying, "Hey, this is about to expire if you want to download it." I'm like, "Well, no, I don't need to download it. It's on YouTube." So
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, it's like, thanks for the heads up, but we have more reliable platforms. Yeah.
right. So
That's what it boils down to, really.
I mean, technically, yeah. So. All right. Anyway, that was the show this week. Hopefully, you will come back here next week, where hopefully we'll be here doing the same thing again, or maybe an interview. We'll see what happens.
We're gonna put some more lines in the water and see if we can get a bite. But if not, I mean, we'll be back regardless. So who knows?
Hopefully, we'll see what happens on Thursday with my
Oh,
appointment.
yeah, yeah.
But,
absolutely fingers crossed with that. So,
yeah, but hopefully, we'll be back here doing a show. It's actually probably one of the only things that actually does relax me. So,
I'm telling you. Yep.
But anyway, hopefully we'll get something going here, and then like I said, we already got the one interview in November, so we'll try to add to that and try to fill November up. And
that's true.
It's hard to say, man. Hard to believe. Sorry, hard to believe that we only have about 6 weeks worth of albums to review, and then we're done for the year. So, because because we usually take off the week of Christmas and then come back the first week of January. So,
yeah.
Not saying we're not going to listen to any albums. We have a show. So,
yeah, because I mean, hell, the main thing is because of the holiday, but the other thing is like having to sort through all of this stuff. I mean, and I mean, especially this year, it just gets more and more difficult every year to narrow it down to 10. But I mean, you got to do it. You got to do it.
You got to. And the crazy thing is we have to do all this, and we don't even listen to everything. That's the bad thing. Like the two of us can't listen to everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy to put out a thing and you haven't listened to everything. But I mean, you have based on what we listen to, I guess we should say.
Here's the good thing about it. This is one thing I like. This is another thing I like about the way we do our show is, because, we're already at October 18th. I would say probably give it another month, maybe another 5 weeks. And some of these media outlets are going to start coming out with their year-end review, with their end of the year list.
Loudwire already said when they were doing theirs.
So for one, that's too early. And for two, the thing that I like about our year-end review, stuff like that, like our top 10 list, I would put good money on the fact that our end of the year lists are different than anybody's. And I don't mean from obviously nobody's top 10 list is the exact same. What I mean is because we do what we do here, focusing more, not just, but focusing more on bands who are new or new to us. I guarantee, like I say, I would bet good money. I can't say guarantee because there are very few guarantees in life, but I would put good money on our year-end top 10 lists having bands that very few of the mainstream media outlets will have. That's what I like, because we still, Testament and Sabaton, all that. So we still listen to all of that stuff. Of course we do. Being heavy metal fans, of course we do. But I guarantee, I will guarantee this, that there are probably very few, if almost no year-end top 10 lists will have bands like Hellbearer and Patchwork and Paralysis and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to foreshadow anything and say that those bands are going to be on our top 10 list because the year isn't over yet. But I would say I would put good money on, like, I guarantee. I keep using guarantee. I can't say that for sure, but I would be willing to bet that places like Loudwire and Metal Sucks like that, I would bet that those outlets don't have those bands.
Well, we'll find out because we'll still be doing shows when they put theirs out, and we'll talk
That's
about it
true.
then
We'll
too.
know. Yeah, we'll know for sure ahead of time. We'll know before our lists come out for sure.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Anyway, hopefully we'll see you back here next week.
Yep.
Until then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime.